We really appreciate you being here tonight, Steve. Thank you very much. Edmund, thank you for being here. I know you guys have had a busy schedule. Maybe tell us a little bit about this meeting tonight. Our ground rules today the ground rules are very simple. The candidates, you'll have up to 3 minutes for your initial introduction, which we're going to do in just a couple of moments, all right? We're going to go ahead and do that, 3 minutes, and then we're going to have questions from our Republican Party of Otero County, which will be to each of you. And then for those questions, you'll have 2 minutes to respond to those questions, all right? That'll be the basic format. And then at the evening, when it's all over with, you'll have 5 minutes for a wrap-up commentary, okay? We'll give you 5 minutes at that particular time. So what we're going to do now to find out which of you would get to introduce yourself first, we're going to have a coin toss. Larry Morgan, come on down, Larry. Bring that, I need to double check that coin, Larry. Just make sure it's okay. It's a Republican coin, all right? Do we have a Democratic coin as well here? All right, Larry, go ahead and toss. How are we going to do it? Heather call. Heather makes a call. Heather calls head. Larry Morgan flips it.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight. This is exactly what our founding fathers envisioned when they founded the United States of America. It's an experiment in freedom that goes on today because of people like you participating year after year in making the process better. I first came to Alamogordo to fly T-33 when I was in ROTC over at New Mexico State. It preceded when I went to Vietnam and flew at 71, 72, and 73. I have very fond memories and a couple of photos from that T-33 here in the air, first time I'd ever been in a jet. I want to welcome my wife tonight. She's traveling with me. She's sacrificing being away from her business during this week of important discussions across the state, so help me welcome Cynthia. You know, people want to make this process of ensuring that our country is strong and important. They want to make it hard and complex. It's not hard and complex at all. If we want to fix the problems of the country, we simply need to empower individuals and empower families. It's only through families that we can build the building blocks of society and build the government that we need. Washington can't fix America. People can fix America. So anytime that I'm in Washington, I think of what we can do to empower individuals. That's my vision for creating a stronger and better country, letting people, letting parents have the charge of their kids so that they can raise them, not having the government tell them what to do. I will tell you that we as Republicans are a little bit down right now. The good news is when you're down, you're never quite as far down as what you think you are. But when you're up, you're never quite as far up as what you think we are. We lost the majority because we lost our way. We began to spend in ways as Republicans that we should not have. Our base began to say that's not what we wanted when we sent to you, when we sent you to Washington. We got what we deserved as Republicans in Congress. The country did not get what it deserved. It deserved better than Nancy Pelosi. I will tell you that as a conservative in Congress, it has been a very lonely time during the past several months. I was the only member in the New Mexico delegation to support the surge of troops. I did not understand how we could do anything except go on offense. I did not understand just leaving the troops there at the same levels which they were. I was the only member of the New Mexico delegation to vote against the S-chip bill. That's Hillary Care Light. The beginnings of socialized medicine. Was the only Republican, was the only member of the New Mexico delegation to support the president when he vetoed that bill twice. Was the only member of the delegation to vote against the cloning legislation that went through this year. I've got a 100% pro-life rating after 5 years. Americans for Tax Reform put me at 100% rating after 5 years. Those are pledges I make. Those are pledges that I keep. I think you'll find that Steve Pearce will stand firm and stand strong on the conservative New Mexico values that represent us all. I'm here to ask for your support. I'm here to ask for your prayer. God bless you. Thank you.
I wanted to thank all of you for coming tonight and thank you for sponsoring the first of what I hope will be many forums and debates as we go through this campaign. The Republican Party of New Mexico needs to nominate a common-sense conservative who can win in November. There are real and important differences between Steve and I think you'll start to see some of those tonight. And by the end of tonight, I hope you have a better sense of how we differ and where we agree and where we disagree. As a common sense conservative, I think it's important, the first responsibility of the federal government is to provide for the common defense. I've spent much of my adult life concerned with the defense of this country, both in uniform and in the Congress, on the Armed Services Committee, on the Intelligence Committee. But there was one member of our delegation, when we went through base realignment and closure, who voted to close Cannon Air Force Base. And it wasn't Tom Udall. It was Steve Pearce. I think we need a United States Senator who is willing to stand up and fight for New Mexico's contribution to national security. I believe, as a common sense conservative, that we need to secure the border and that we need to deny amnesty to people who have come here illegally. Last year we had a bill on the floor of the House to increase the number of Border Patrol agents here in New Mexico by 500 people so that we can secure the border. I voted in favor of it. Steve voted against it. You can't talk about securing the border if you're not willing to spend the money to hire the guys to do the job. As a common sense conservative, I know that the most important fiber in our social fabric is not the village, it's the family. The family is the most important fiber in our social fabric. I am pro-life, and I believe that marriage is the union of one man and one woman as husband and wife. And the federal government should do nothing to undermine the family and the importance of American life. I also believe that we need to nominate a common sense conservative who can win in November. I represent a district that is tough every 2 years, because by all the numbers, it shouldn't be represented by a Republican. George Bush won the state of New Mexico in the last presidential year. He lost my district to John Kerry. I know how to win where it's tough to win, and this is going to be a tough election year. By the end of tonight, I think you'll see some of the differences between Steve and I, and why I am the common sense conservative we need to nominate who can win in November. Thank you.